Someone in your life, a parent who constantly oversteps your boundaries, a toxic boss, or a partner you have been pulling away from, suddenly presents you with an extravagant gift. Or perhaps they step in to do you a massive favor that you explicitly did not ask them to do. They pay for your dinner. They buy you a piece of expensive technology. They offer to fund a project. Society has programmed you with a rigid script for this exact moment. You are supposed to smile. You are supposed to feign surprise, drop your defenses, and express profound, endless gratitude. You are told that rejecting a gift is the ultimate social sin. It is rude. It is ungrateful. But internally, your body is screaming a completely different truth. As you hold the object in your hands, you do not feel loved. You do not feel appreciated. You feel a sudden, sickening drop in the pit of your stomach. A cold, invisible weight settles over your chest. You feel a deep, suffocating sense of entrapment, exactly like a person who just signed a predatory legal contract without being allowed to read the terms and conditions. When you try to explain this dread to your friends, they dismiss it. They tell you that you are overthinking, that you have a hard time accepting love, and that the person was just trying to be nice. But your nervous system is not overthinking anything. It is detecting a predator. You feel trapped because you are trapped. What you have just received is not a gesture of love. It is a highly calculated psychological weapon. You have just been handed an invoice, disguised as a gift, by someone who fully intends to collect the debt using your peace of mind as currency. It is time to stop accepting fake gifts. Act 1. The Economics of Manipulation. To free yourself from the crushing weight of this social guilt, we must fundamentally deconstruct the concept of generosity. From the time we are children, we are conditioned with a massive, oversimplified lie that all kindness is pure and that all giving is a reflection of a good character. But in the realm of dark psychology and interpersonal manipulation, kindness is morally neutral. It is simply a tool. And like any tool, it can be used to build a house, or it can be used to break a window. When a healthy, securely attached person gives you a gift, it is an unconditional transfer of value. They give it to you because they want to enhance your life. Once the gift leaves their hands, their ownership of it ends. They do not require a specific reaction. They do not hold it over your head, and they do not use it as leverage to extract future favors. But a manipulative person does not give gifts. A manipulator makes investments. When a toxic person performs an act of kindness, they are executing a strategic maneuver. They are depositing a specific amount of value into your life, with the absolute uncompromising expectation that they are going to withdraw it later with a massive predatory interest rate. They use generosity because it is the perfect camouflage. If they tried to control you through overt aggression or demands, your defenses would immediately go up. You would recognize the threat, draw a boundary, and walk away. But by wrapping their control in the sparkling paper of a favor, they completely disarm you. They bypass your emotional security system and plant a Trojan horse directly inside the walls of your life. And the moment you try to set a boundary, the trap door of the horse opens and the psychological warfare begins. Act 2. Reciprocity Exploitation. To understand why this tactic is so incredibly effective, we have to look at the evolutionary biology of the human brain. Why does receiving a gift from a toxic person make you feel physically anxious? It is because they are hacking a primitive biological mechanism called the rule of reciprocity. Hundreds of thousands of years ago, human survival depended entirely on tribal cooperation. If a hunter shared their food with you during a winter famine, your brain created a deep, uncomfortable psychological tension, a feeling of indebtedness. That uncomfortable feeling was biologically necessary. It ensured that you would share your food with them next week, keeping the tribe alive. We are neurologically hardwired to repay our debts. When someone does something for us, our brain creates an overwhelming psychological urge to balance the scales. Manipulators understand this biological loophole, and they exploit it ruthlessly. In behavioral psychology, this is known as our reciprocity exploitation. They force unearned, unrequested kindness onto you specifically to trigger that biological feeling of indebtedness. By doing favors you never asked for, paying for dinners you offered to split, or buying lavish gifts you do not want, they are intentionally pushing your psychological scales out of balance. They are forcing you into social debt without your consent. Once you are in their debt, you are compromised. Your brain will subconsciously tolerate their bad behavior because it feels like you owe them. You will let them speak to you disrespectfully because they paid for your vacation. You will let them cross your physical boundaries because they helped you move. You will stay in a toxic job with an abusive boss because they gave you a completely unprompted bonus 6 months ago. You are trading your dignity, your boundaries, and your mental health to pay off a fabricated debt that you never actually agreed to take on. Act 3. The invisible ink of the covert contract. This dynamic is driven by a psychological mechanism called the Hodge covert contract. A covert contract is an invisible, unspoken agreement that a manipulator creates entirely in their own head. They decide that if they perform action A, you are legally and morally obligated to perform action B. The profound danger of the covert contract is that the manipulator never actually tells you the terms. They write the agreement in invisible ink, and you only find out what it says when they accuse you of breaking it. Think about the classic nice guy archetype. He will listen to your problems, buy you drinks, and act like your best friend. He is executing a covert contract. If I perform the role of the perfect listener, she is obligated to owe me romantic access. When you eventually state that you only see him as a friend, he absolutely explodes. He calls you manipulative. He is furious because, in his mind, you just breached a contract you never even knew you signed. Think about the toxic parent. They pay for your college education, or they hand you money for a down payment on a house. But it is not a gift. It is a covert contract for lifelong control. The invisible terms dictate that because they gave you money, you are now obligated to let them dictate your career, criticize your partner, and demand access to your life 24 hours a day. Think about the abusive partner. They scream at you, humiliate you, and completely shatter your peace on a Tuesday night. On Wednesday morning, they show up with a massive bouquet of expensive flowers and a lavish apology gift. They are not apologizing. They are using the gift as a psychological eraser. The covert contract is, I bought you this expensive item, therefore you are no longer allowed to be angry at me. If you accept the gift but remain upset about the abuse, they will instantly turn the situation around and accuse you of being cold, unforgiving, and ungrateful. The gift is a muzzle. It is designed to buy your silence. Act 4. The weaponization of guilt. After all I've done. The true sinister nature of this weapon is only revealed when you finally attempt to assert your independence. The moment you draw a line in the sand, the moment you tell the toxic parent they cannot come over unannounced, or tell the manipulative partner that their behavior is unacceptable, they will detonate the debt. They will hit you with the most manipulative, devastating phrase in the English language. After all I've done for you. How can you be so selfish after all I've done for you? I sacrificed everything for you, and this is how you repay me. This is the ultimate weaponization of guilt. It is a masterclass in a tactic called Darvo. Deny, attack, and reverse victim and offender. By pulling out the ledger of every single nice thing they have ever done for you, they completely hijack the narrative. The conversation is no longer about their abusive behavior or their boundary crossing. The conversation is suddenly about your catastrophic failure to be a grateful human being. They weaponize your own moral compass against you. Because you are a good person, the accusation of being ungrateful cuts you to your absolute core. You begin to doubt your own reality. You start to think, maybe I am being too harsh. They did pay for my car. They did help me when I was sick. You fold, you drop the boundary. You apologize for trying to protect yourself, and you shrink back into your cage, completely crushed under the weight of a fabricated guilt. They successfully use their past kindness as a get-out-of-jail-free card for their present abuse. Act 5. The Sovereign Refusal. How do you dismantle a weapon that looks exactly like love? How do you escape the labyrinth of social debt without feeling like a terrible person? You must embrace the absolute, unshakable power of the sovereign refusal. You must realize that you are under absolutely no moral obligation to accept a gift that is secretly a grenade. True psychological empowerment requires you to become incredibly comfortable with the discomfort of rejecting unearned kindness. When the toxic person in your life attempts to force a favor onto you, you must stop them in their tracks. You must look them in the eye and say, "Thank you, but I cannot accept this." They will act deeply offended. They will try to play the victim. They will tell everyone that they were just trying to be nice and you were incredibly rude. Let them. You must stop managing their emotional reactions. Let them be offended. Their offense is simply their frustration that their manipulation tactic failed to penetrate your armor. If they have already trapped you in a covert contract, you must nullify it immediately. The next time they scream, "After all I've done for you," you must drop the emotional shield and state the cold, hard truth. You look at them and you say, "I appreciate what you have done for me in the past, but your past kindness does not purchase the right to disrespect me in the present. If your gifts came with the condition that I must tolerate your behavior, then I will return them." You have to be willing to walk away from the financial help. You have to be willing to pay for your own dinner. You have to be willing to lose the inheritance, the favor, or the social advantage. Because nothing in this world is more expensive than free help from a toxic person. It is time to stop cashing checks that bounce in the currency of your mental health. A gift with strings attached is not a gift, it is a leash. Take off the collar, hand them back their heavy, toxic generosity, and walk away into the profound, unburdened freedom of owing absolutely nothing to anyone.